let's talk about self-worth, self-esteem, and self-confidence. Now, before we go on to expand on every other thing in this module, it's important that we understand how we got to where we are right now, how we got to this stage where we are not going after things that we want, we are not getting the result that we want, we are living scared, we are living timidly, and we are just at this point where we are not satisfied with life. You see, there's nothing meaningful anyone can get in life if they don't have self-confidence. Now that's a fact. You can ask anyone in this life, anyone who's truthful, they'll tell you that everything revolves around self-confidence, you having confidence in yourself. Now it's unfortunate that a lot of people in this life don't have confidence in themselves. They have low self-esteem, they place low value on themselves. Now there are various instances all around us that demonstrates this fact. Now the fact that you are earning low, that you are afraid to ask someone to give you, let's say you lend someone some money, the fact that you are scared to ask that person to give you back your money shows that you don't even have confidence, like you're scared. The fact that you can't charge someone a particular amount because you are afraid that the person will see you as too expensive, or that like, hey, why should I pay you this money, demonstrate the fact that you have low self-confidence, that you don't trust yourself. Now this is very important because in this 21st century, for you to demand a certain wage, for you to command a certain amount of wealth, some certain amount of money, you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have that self-belief that you deserve that amount of money. Now see, nothing else would work in life. There's nothing I will teach you in this life if you don't have a mentality of a winner, if you don't have a mentality of a millionaire, if you don't have a mentality that you deserve what you are, what you aspire, or what the things you desire, the things you wish for yourself. If you don't have the confidence that you deserve them, nothing else would work out. You're just going to dilly-dally around and end up resentful, end up sad, and feeling that nothing, like this world is so hard, that this world is useless. Nothing else would work if you don't build your self-confidence. Now, like I said earlier on, you are at this stage where you are right now because you've not been, you've not you don't have the self-confidence to start going after the things that you want or the things that you desire. Now, before we go on to start talking about all these things, about how to build yourself up, and how to go on to start accumulating wealth for yourself, or whatever you desire for yourself, okay, let's get to know where and how most of us get to a point where we lack confidence in ourselves, we have low self-esteem, we have low self-worth. How did all these things come about? How did most of us get to this point where we are? Now I have a story, okay, that I'm going to relate with you, a personal story that happened a while ago. You see, when I was still in secondary school, I remember this particular incident in class where we're having lectures and the teacher was just teaching and talking. And just like how teachers do in schools, this particular teacher pointed at a student and asked a question, asked the student to answer it. Now this student, looking down, looking up, just gave this teacher an answer, and the student got it wrong. Now, because the student got it wrong, this teacher made a remark, Olodo, and everyone in class started laughing. They started laughing at this young guy. They started making fun at him. And I was also there. I was also laughing. I was, laughing and, just, having the time of my life, like, being, enjoying the joke. Yeah, enjoying the joke. Now, but one thing happened. I noticed that whilst I was laughing, I was also hiding my face because I don't want to be called to answer that question because I didn't know it also. And, the pain of, you being called upon and laughed at, okay, it's so unbearable. It's like one of the most wicked thing that can happen to you as a young person, right? So I had to hide so that I wouldn't be called upon. Now I want you to imagine that particular student that was made fun of, that was called Olodo, that people started making fun of. I want you to imagine that person's life, how the person felt that moment. I want you to imagine if it was you, how would you feel? Someone calling you a dumb ass, someone calling you an olodo, and people laughing at you and making fun of you, like, hey, it's you silly, you naughty, you moron, you useless, you stupid, and all these negative things. Now I want you to imagine that a lot of people are calling you these negative things. How would you feel about yourself? Now, you see, in life, a lot of us have gone through different things in life. A lot of us have experienced different things in life. And all these experiences has shaped us up to the present moment we are right now. A lot of us lack confidence in ourselves because of past experiences or because of things we've experienced in the past. Now, this memory still lives on with us. This memory still lingers around and sort of influence our decisions in life. That's why you find someone who has a master's degree, a PhD, still looking at a petty job, a petty business to do that will be paying peanuts, because upstairs in their mind they don't believe that their PhD is worth millions, it's worth billions, and it can give them that financial freedom. That's why you find a lot of us, you start a business and you struggle, you charge low because you don't feel like you are deserving of that big thing. Now, that's why I said the difference between people who are successful and people who are not revolves around their mentality. That's why you find two people will be in the same business, two people will start the same work. One will go on to succeed way beyond the other, while everyone else might just wonder, hey, what's happening? And they might sort of try to console the guy who isn't successful, and the guy who isn't successful might say, oh, that person is a cheat, he lied, he's this, he's that, that's why he's successful. No, it all revolves around your mentality and your level of self-confidence, your level of self-belief. Now, with this story out of the way, I'm hoping that you now just take a look at your life right now, where you are, that you're listening to me, you're taking this module. I want you to take a look at your life. What are the experiences you've gone through? What are the things you've experienced in the past that has shaped your perception up to this moment you are right now? What are the challenges you've gone through that has made you the way you are right now? Now, I say these things because you see, a few years ago when I started my first business, I failed in that business. And it's a business I invested a lot of money, and I was also supported to start that business. Now, when that business failed, okay, being that I'm someone who is always conscious of the way I live, I'm always conscious of the way I do things, I felt very bad. I felt useless. Like, hey, how could you fail in just common business? How could you fail something everyone is doing? Young people are going forth to make millions for themselves, changing their family's life, and you were given all this money and you had to squander it and fail. Like, yeah, you are just a useless guy. That's what I told myself. I know a lot of people, okay, like I said, they are where they are right now because of past experiences. Now, how do we come about these things? You see, verbal programming, that is the things we've heard, the things we've heard other people say. Just like the experience in class, I told you that the teacher called the student an olodo, and every other person was making fun of that particular incident, that particular student. A lot of us have heard awful things. A lot of us have heard these negative words, and these words have gone on to live in our minds. They've gone on to live in our heads, and they influence everything that we do. Now, it's important that you look at your life right now. Look at what have people been saying about you. What are the things you've heard about yourself growing up? Start from when you were a little child, okay, to when you were during your teenage age, and when you are now an adult. Like, look at your life, look at all these stages. What things have you heard that you feel have impacted you right now? This particular exercise is very important, because the first key to changing anything in life is awareness. The first thing to changing anything in life is awareness. Now, imagine you are having malaria. How would you be able to treat that malaria if you don't know it's malaria? How would you be able to effectively treat it? It goes on, okay? The first thing is you have to understand that this is a malaria. You need to identify it as a malaria before you now start um, giving out drugs, or going to the pharmacy or to the hospital to start buying drugs. It has to be identified as malaria. Same thing, before you can build your self-confidence, your self-belief, okay, your self-esteem, you need to become aware of where you picked all this rubbish, all this garbage, that you are not good enough, that you are dumb, you are this, you are that. You need to start first to become aware of these things. You need to become aware of all these things. So that's why it's important for you to look at your personal life, look at past. What have people said to you that's impacted you, or what have you heard other people saying about others that's also impacted you and made you to just sort of hide yourself and tuck your gift in, so that people won't laugh at you or say those negative things about you. Now, the second way most of us come about our low self-esteem is through modeling. Now, we might it might be through our parents or people close to us, or relative or whatever. We look at these people, we observe them, how they hide themselves, they play it safe, right? And they are just there, just playing it safe, and we feel, okay, if this person is doing it, that means it's the best way to do things. Now, that's why it's important that if you want to change your situation in life, you need to look at people you associate with, because those people go on to influence you. They go on to influence how you behave and how you act in life. So you need to look at people you've been modeling in the past. Who are the people you look up to? Who are the people, whilst growing up, you were looking up to? These people, what are their characteristics? What are their behavior? How were they, behaving when you were growing up? Now, observe the character you've picked from these people. Chances are, these people, they've influenced you in so many ways that you are now, you lack that confidence in yourself. You view yourself as not special, or you feel like things are way beyond you. It's because of the people you've been associating with while growing up, people you've been associating with right now in your life. Now, this is the second way that people come about their low self-esteem, their low self-confidence and self-worth. So it's important that you do the same thing. Go back, look at your life, just sit down and meditate. Look at your life. Where have you been observing and modeling other people's life? Think about different people in your life that have influenced you, and get to distinguish the attitude, the character, the habits you've picked from these people that has made you to look and behave the way you do right now. Now, the third thing are specific incidents. Now, it still ties down to like the story I told you. A lot of us have experienced failures. A lot of us have experienced tough times, and we've also seen people go through these things, and these things have they've impacted us so much that right now we feel like, hey, this life is just so hard. This life is useless. This life is, all the negative things due to specific incidents. And sometimes you might try something in life. Let's say you start a business and it fails. You start another business and it fails. Maybe you start the third one and it fails. And you just tell yourself, business is not for me. Business is, it's too hard. It's useless. Now, it's never going to be profitable. Now, this is because of your personal experience. Now, you see, like I told you, when I failed in my first business, okay, I had to stay away from business for some time because I felt, hey, God, this thing is way beyond me. Like, I'm just such a failure. Like, I'm a useless guy. Now, that's how I felt back then. Now, a lot of people still feel the same way. They shy away from opportunities. They shy away from, things that will build them up because of the past incidents they've had. They're like, oh, this thing will never work. This thing it's not for me. So that's why it's important that you take this particular exercise, okay? After this module, you need to sit down and look at your life. Look at every areas you've picked on, the habits you have right now, the beliefs you have right now, your past experiences. Where have you failed? What have people said about you, or if you've heard people say, that has influenced you, that has made you, you are made you to, be at this point in life where you're scared and you're living timidly, you're living, anxiously, and you believe that nothing good would ever come out your life. Look at your past experiences, your past life, and observe these things. Now, after you've done it, okay, like I said, the key to changing anything in life is awareness, getting to understand where it's coming from. Once you do this, okay, you're going to, start getting an enlightenment of why these things are false, why these things don't make sense anymore. See, if you failed in the past, let's say you failed mathematics in your primary school, there's no way that your failure in primary school would have a strong hold over your life currently, right now, this your present life. There's no way it will. So that's why it's important that you understand that, see, all your past experiences, they are past, they are dead and gone. Okay, so but it needs to, you need to first of all understand where it's coming from. You need to understand how useless it is for you to still hang on to those ideas that you are not good enough. And you should understand that, okay, after looking back at your life, one thing you should understand is that if you failed in the past, is because you knew less, you didn't know what you know right now. Now, the person you are right now, if you should go back to those moments, I'm sure, 100% sure, that you are going to do better. You're going to do absolutely amazing compared to that past self. That shows that you are growing. That shows that you are evolving. That's why it's important that you take out the time to, do this particular step. Understand yourself. Look at your personal life. Where did you pick all the garbage you have about yourself, that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, that you cannot have money, that you cannot be successful, that you are not beautiful enough? Look at your past life. Look at what people have said. Where did you pick these things? And understand that these things are useless. These things don't demonstrate who you are, who you truly are. So take out the time and do this particular exercise, because everything else I'm going to talk about revolves around you getting to know yourself, getting to know that you have everything that it takes to succeed in this life. You have everything that it takes to build a fulfilling life here on earth.